The House is going to vote today on 4 bills. It includes $95 billion with a B, Ukraine, Israel, Taiwan, and humanitarian support. Do you expect those bills to pass? And then what happens in the Senate?
I expect the Israel bill to pass. I think that the Ukraine bill is very controversial. I think the Speaker is trying to lead with the political reality that we currently have. A very slim majority in the House, the Democrats in control of the Senate and the White House. The fact is that the House passed H.R. 2 and it stalled in the Senate. And even if by some miracle the Senate was to pass H.R. 2, there's no guarantee, and probably President Biden wouldn't enforce H.R. 2. So the National Federation of Republican Women, we are committed to changing the political reality that we're in 2024. We're using the fact that we've had an invasion on our borders as that motivator. The fact that we have H.R. 2 and it's not going anywhere because of the Senate, and most likely not even with this president. These are failed Biden policies. And so that's our motivator. That's our motivator to win the Senate, gain a stronger majority in the House, and win the White House.
Yeah, you know, Krisha, one of the things I was thinking, again, having been there and done this, there are certain realities. I don't think President Biden, regardless of any bill that's passed H.R. 2, it doesn't matter. He's never going to enforce it. What I would have liked to have seen the Speaker do is say to the Senate, I'll pass the Ukraine funding if you give a trial for Mayorkas. At least let the people see what's going on. He's never going to be convicted in a Democrat Senate, but you could have got something for it. I don't think he got anything for it. But let me get back now and try to segue a little bit. On Wednesday, the Senate voted on party lines to dismiss, as I was just saying, this article of impeachment against DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. So the dismissal comes just 2 months after the House voted to impeach him for willfully and systematically failing and refusing to enforce immigration laws. So, John, do you agree with me that most likely, again, I don't think it matters what law you pass, Biden doesn't care. All right, he has an agenda to keep an open border. That's why he's suing Texas. That's why he is trying to prevent them from securing the border themselves. He has an agenda. So wouldn't it have been, we could have got something by forcing at least the trial, even if he doesn't get convicted?
I agree with that, Michael. And just so that we're talking on the same page, you're spot on that even if the H.R. 2 is passed, Biden is not going to heed that. I mean, he's ignoring the law right now on the border, so he's acting in an extra legal manner. And Mayorkas is his point guard in doing that. He's carrying out the Biden open borders agenda. So, and remember how he always says, oh, the border's closed, the border's closed. So the House was absolutely right to impeach him. And you're right, Michael, that we have this vehicle once again of the uniparty wanting the Ukraine funding that's going to pass. So at least we can push through one thing. I served in the Senate staff for 7 years, and they brought up different impeachments. They had the Clinton impeachment going through. But even when judges are impeached, the Senate has to hold a trial. It just has to. This is unprecedented that the Senate just dismissed under Schumer. They just dismissed this altogether. You're absolutely right. Have the Senate hold a trial before they get any Ukraine funding, and that'll at least expose for the American people exactly how bad things are under Mayorkas on the border.
Well, Julie, taking a look at this from a political ramification perspective, Mayorkas was impeached, as we just said, for his role in the border crisis. That's obviously a huge issue in the upcoming election, ongoing. What kind of political effects does this dismissal have on both sides?
We have never seen this type of dereliction of duty in our Senate in this way. While we have fentanyl coming across our borders, dangerous migrant criminals coming across, murdering Americans, and the Senate refusing to even hear the facts, I think that America they're woken up. They're awake. They are aware of what's happening, and I believe that we're going to see a very different political landscape after this election.
Well, we shall see. Time will tell. John Elliott, Julie Harris, thank you so much for joining us on Wake Up America Weekend. We appreciate your input.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Krisha.
Thank you both.